race fans, my name is Taylor and welcome back to Above the Yellow Line, the show where we talk all about the NASCAR Cup Series. Today is a pre-race show for the Pocono Doubleheader this weekend. We also have some updates and hot takes from the NASCAR world and beyond, and also announcing the winner of the Above the Yellow Line podcast giveaway I held on Twitter. And joining me to discuss all of this is again my friend Adam Lucas. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me again. I love being able to be back on.
Absolutely. You have been such a fun guest to have on the show, and it's kind of fitting. We have some fun news to start the show with. So are you ready to dive right in?
Let's go for it.
All right. We're going to start by talking about a driver that we both love, Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman just got a 2-year contract extension through 2023 with Ally as the sponsor and Hendrick Motorsports in the number 48. Adam, we're both excited about this. We're both Alex Bowman's fans, as I've mentioned. What do you make of this extension, and do you like that it's a 2-year? Would you have expected more from them, or I don't think we would have expected less, but would you have liked a longer contract?
According to Alex, this is the longest contract he's ever had in NASCAR. So, hey, when the 2 years is up, maybe it's another 2 years to the 2 years. So maybe he'll get a 4-year contract if he's a good boy, obviously. But yes, I do. I like that it's a 2-year deal. I like that Ally is committed to him. It's very, I wouldn't say it's very rare these days, but finding a sponsor that is committed and committed to basically the entire schedule, if I'm not mistaken, for Alex, that's phenomenal for him and for Hendrick.
Absolutely. I would say the paint schemes Ally does, they kill it every week. They are such a fun and clearly committed sponsor, and I think they're one of my favorites in the sport right now, actually. And Alex Bowman is such a cool guy, in my opinion. I love his personality, just kind of the quirkiness to him, and I think he's a fun personality to have in the sport and to keep in the sport. Him and Greg Ives are a great combination. I'm very excited and very thrilled to have Alex Bowman continuing at Hendrick Motorsports through 2023, and I'm pretty sure after that we'll get another extension. But excited to have him in the Hendrick Motorsports car. And if we're talking cars, we got to move over to the next piece of news that comes in a few parts. GMS announced that they are moving to the Cup Series. That's insane. That's like maybe I want to say the 1000th team that said that they're going to move. And this is a big step because they are a Truck Series team. No Xfinity right now. And they're going to move straight to Cup. So there's so many teams looking for a charter. They're looking to get in. And the price at its lowest right now, there's a lot of articles I'm going to link in the description below to kind of back up what I'm saying here. But the starting rate that is rumored for these charters is $10 million. $10 million for a charter is ridiculous. And racking in the money.
That's a lot of change. I wish I had $10 million around, just laying around to buy a charter.
Yeah, just in your own racing team, Adam. Like, just to kind of put this in perspective, how insane is this for you? If you could buy a charter for $10 million, first off, I know you would, but that GMS is wanting to move to Cup. I think it begs the question: which teams should get charters, and are they a valid enough team to get the charter for the Cup Series?
Well, I honestly. I think it's going to come down to how many charters are actually available or who's going to actually want to sell. I also heard a rumor that GMS may just do a part-time schedule, which would basically wipe out them even having a charter, because in order to have a charter, you have to run and compete in every single race on the Cup schedule. So maybe maybe they're gearing up to think maybe full-time Cup Series 2023. Let's just get our feet wet with the new car in 2022.
Interesting. That is a good thought to have in our minds, because we're hearing all these teams wanting to dive into the deep end in the Cup Series, but it also is important. Actually, a thought has not occurred to me yet. Maybe they're not going to go charter. Maybe they're just going to get in there and see how it works. And I know with the charter Adam talked about, well, who's willing to sell? Well, there's rumors that Rick Ware Racing, who has 4 charters, they're known they're not a very competitive team. They're looking to maybe sell or release their charters here or there. And it also kind of asks the question too, which we already kind of discussed, is which team should get charters. And I know there's a rule in the NASCAR rule book somewhere I read when I talked about the charter system, when we first started to get some silly season news, that if there's 3 consecutive race seasons where you're not showing points, you're, I think, below 30th in the point standings, NASCAR has a right basically to take your charter away and give it to someone else, or like buy your charter off if you're going to take it. So at this point with Rick Ware Racing, they're kind of in that zone, the kind of the danger zone where they have that thing of taking the charters away, but also they have a lot of power. I'm not a big fan of having the charters as a business move when you're not a competitive team. It takes it away from teams that really, I don't want to say deserve the charters, because everyone's in this series for a reason, but it takes the charter away from somebody who could maybe use it a little bit more, have some more of the race wins. So that's my issue with this. Adam, do you like it as a business move? Like, what do you feel about the charters in general? I would say, do you like the charter system? It's a good question to ask.
For the charter system, no, I don't like the charter system at all. I have really strong opinions about it, and how there are better ways to do this to be able to race, especially with qualifying, and to let's see the fastest guys race. Let's not have guaranteed people who are always going to be at the back. I like seeing competition. I like when there's new teams that are available, or new teams that are able to want to compete at the Cup Series level and at least be able to get a shot at it. So the whole charter system, it's got many flaws in it. We could do a whole podcast show on just how the charter system works. But besides that, like for Rick Ware, he's getting ready to have a big payday. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I really think from a business standpoint, that he's going to benefit by the end of the year from having 4 current charters. I think he'll easily keep one. You got to keep the 51 or the 15 involved somehow. But as for the other 3, I say 3. I know a lot of people and a lot of rumors are saying he may sell 2 of them off. I think if the money's right, or if there's a team that's really wanting to get in,
there's a lot.
There are numerous. It seems that every week there's another team from either the Xfinity Series or the Truck Series or an outside source. I mean, heck, let's talk about the Floyd Mayweather team that keeps being rumored. Maybe it'll happen if the price is right. And we know with Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Money Mayweather, they got the money. They'll throw it at someone to get a charter. So, I mean, if the price is right, sell out. Go, Rick.
Basically, yeah, it's as these prices are getting more and more outrageous, it is a very smart business move for Rick Ware. He can bring that money back to his team that he's selling to the charters, making more competitive equipment, more competitive cars. We learned in 3rd grade or 4th grade, the supply maybe drops, demand increases, prices increase. It's a formula that we don't like to hear about, we don't like to kind of think about, but yeah, a lot of teams are gunning for these charters, and that prices are going to rise. So it's very interesting to see which teams are going to get their hands on these charters and which teams are not. But we have news about another team who got their hands on 2 charters. Kaulig Racing is going full time into the 2022 season for the Cup season, and they acquired 2 charters from Spire Motorsports. And this has sparked a little bit of controversy here, because we know one of the charters that they had was leased to Trackhouse Racing for the 9019 of Daniel Suarez. And as of right now, they are out of a charter. But I do want to mention, though, just before we get into that, because that's a discussion within itself, that the charters are going full-time to Justin Haley. And then AJ Allmendinger is going to be racing part-time for the team over at Kaulig in the Cup Series. So I want to ask, too, is there any driver that we have in mind to fill some of that other part-time schedule that AJ Allmendinger has?
Absolutely. And he's a friend of mine on Twitter. We tweet at each other all the time. We're always talking football. He's a big Tom Brady fan. So, you know, when he moved down to Tampa, I was like, oh, Kaz, hey, buddy, he's going to do good. Which, it's Kaz Gralla. Kaz Gralla, he deserves a shot. Even if it's a part-time shot with Allmendinger and maybe another driver or 2 in that second Kaulig car, it's going to be worth it. He could run a partial schedule for 2022, and heck, he could run a full-time schedule for someone, because I'm sure there's going to be another goofy, silly season next year with more contracts and more driver retirements. It could be setting himself up for his career from a year from now. So it could be a smart business decision to run just a few races for 2022 and then go full time in 2023. But definitely Kaz Grala, and heck, I mean, even Jeb Burton, let's give him a shot at some of the short tracks. If we're going to keep it in house, I mean, Kaulig loves to promote from within. Justin Haley, he's been there for a couple seasons now. He's run a few cup races. He's got a victory, albeit by a rain delay, but hey, a win is a win. And sometimes that's your ticket. That's your golden ticket. So promote from within. So yeah, Jeb Burton, let's throw him at the short tracks. He can run the 2 Martinsville races and the 2 Richmond races, or even a Bristol. He's phenomenal at the short tracks. I know he has cup experience, so maybe some of his expertise from running in the Cup Series could come into his favor for maybe running in that second entry.
Yeah, my whole point with bringing this up too, at least for me, is what I wanted to discuss was, like you said, promoting from within. I think Kaz Grala is a great choice to run that part-time schedule. He's shown that he has talent. He has skills. Keep him in their program. And I know Kaulig was very adamant about saying we want Kaz Grala to stay in our program. We want him to continue with us. And I think as the silly seasons continue to get weirder and weirder, there's going to be a full-time ride for him somewhere. And I love Kaulig as a whole. I think they are a great organization. They really support their drivers and their sponsors. And you can tell it's a family. When one guy in their team wins, they're all group hugging on the track. It's an amazing feeling to have an organization like that. So definitely promoting from within for the Kaulig racing team and the cup side of things. And that leads us to the discussion for track house racing. As of right now, because Spire had the 7, the 77, and the 99 charters, they sold the 77 and the 99. They still have a charter for Corey LaJoy in the 7. That means that Trackhouse doesn't have a charter. Daniel Suarez doesn't have a charter. Do you think, and I think we know that they're probably going to get a charter. I would hope so, because that team deserves it. We've seen them have a phenomenal run this season. Where do you think that they could get their charter from, or how do you think that could pan out? If you have to theorize this a little bit, or maybe they get a Rick Ware charter. That was my thought on it. If Rick Ware ends up selling.
Well, sometimes, I know in seasons past, there's quite a bit of swapping charters at the bottom of the field. I mean, heck, what was it? I think Ryan Blaney, when he drove for the Wood Brothers, they swapped their charter with another team who didn't need a charter, but they had already swapped their charter to another team that needed a charter. So it was kind of like a triangle effect, almost like an NBA trade. We're sending you here in order to get that guy to come here. So I don't know if we're going to see something similar to that with Trackhouse. Maybe they just swap with another team in the bottom. Maybe a team decides that, hey, we're not going to run full-time anymore. We're just going to run a part-time team. But I don't know. I really don't know. It's scary to think that a team like Trackhouse doesn't have a charter for next year with how well they are running. I know they had to buy their way in for this year, but they wouldn't be hitting the panic button yet either.
Yeah.
But I think if Pitbull puts another hit, a summer hit out, or maybe even a fall hit, Song of the Fall, they'll be just fine.
Yeah. I mean, with Pitbull on their side, they're bound to have some deal come up. And I would agree with you. It is scary to think that a team as successful as Trackhouse in their first season, then that's got to be enticing to sponsors and everyone in the circle. And Pitbull is very involved. I would say it's scary to think that they don't have a charter, and some other teams, I'm not saying they're less deserving, but other teams that are not as competitive is what I mean to say, do have a charter and they're not maybe using it to the full potential. So
hey race fans, it is me, Taylor. You're probably wondering, where is Adam? Well, I had to interrupt the video to put in a new piece of news that was just announced today when I'm recording on Wednesday. Adam and I recorded yesterday, and when you're seeing this, it'll be Friday. A lot of confusion in the days, but this piece of news was too important for me not to have in the video, so I'm recording a separate section because the breaking news, according to The Athletic and sources, is Jeff Gordon is leaving the Fox booth in 2022. Now, this is major news for Jeff Gordon and just the Fox broadcast. What are they going to do? And we're going to talk about that in a second. But first, I feel like I have to congratulate Jeff Gordon on his new role. He's going to be the vice chairman of Hendrick Motorsports. And I think as a fan, you can see that that is where his passion lies. If Hendrick Motorsports wins a race, Jeff Gordon is the first one to be there to congratulate the team. He's always there with them. Even in the booth, you can tell that he's wanting something more with Hendrick Motorsports. He wants to be part of their team, and he is so passionate about it. He brought Hendrick Motorsports to the next level too in his career. So congrats to Jeff Gordon. I think that is where his passions lie. That is where he belongs. But then the question is, who belongs in the booth? And does someone belong in the booth to replace Jeff Gordon? According to the article from The Athletic, there's a question as to whether they keep the dynamic with just Clint Boyer and Mike Joy. And here's why I see that being an issue. Mike Joy's personality is a little somber. There's nothing wrong with that. Clint Boyer's personality is wild. It's up there. And I feel like Mike Joy could be overpowered. I think having a third man in the booth can ease that out, but you have to find the right person to do that. And right now, I don't think there is. So it's going to be a hunt to find someone to fill Jeff Gordon's spot. I actually thought Kurt Busch would be a good addition to the booth, actually, if he was going to be retiring after this season, but now we know he is not. So he's out of contention for next season to fill the Fox booth. But let me know in the comments below who you think could fill that position, if anyone, or if you just want to have it a two-man broadcast. Let me know in the comments below. But that is the breaking news the day I am recording this on Wednesday. That was too important not to add in. I think maybe you can agree. I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are. But without further ado, let's get back to the Pocono pre-race video.
Now let's move on to the next part of this video, the giveaway. Before we go into the preview episode, I gotta mention this giveaway. A few months back, I let you all know that I was having a giveaway, giving out some cool merch on my Twitter page when we reached a certain level of followers, and as giveaways usually do. And the goal was to reach 40 subscribers on this YouTube page, which we exceeded pretty quickly. And then the goal on my Twitter page was to hit 500 followers, and we hit that number finally. And first off, I have to thank you all so much for the support, and this would not happen without all of you. So I'm very happy with the community we have built and are continuing to grow with the above the yellow line content and names. So thank you all so much for that. And the moment you've been waiting for, a lot of you really tuned in for this giveaway. A lot of you retweeted it. They're asking, hey, when is this happening? Happening now. So I'm happy to announce the winner of this lovely, I have all this stuff right here, this a lovely Jimmy Johnson shirt that I got right here for y'all. We have a drink wrap. That's super fun and super helpful for all your drinking needs. Then we have a Vinnie Miller, and we have a Brandon Hightower signed hero cards. And finally, the surprise piece of merch that I mentioned, we have a Chase Elliott die cast. I figured I'd throw in some of the big guns as much as I could provide for this giveaway because y'all were super awesome about it. So the winner of this giveaway was Deanna at rblaze98 on Twitter. So congratulations to you. I have messaged you, we've talked, I'm going to send it in the mail this week and next week. I'm super excited, and I'm very grateful that you have supported the Above the Yellow Line channel. So thank you all so much for being involved in this giveaway and helping me reach my goal of expanding the community. I'm hoping to do another one of these as soon as I can, so stay tuned. But that is the giveaway. I'm sad to let this go, and I'm excited it's going to a very great home. Let's go into the final segment of this video, the Pocono preview. We're going to talk about the doubleheader this weekend. The two cup races this weekend are the Pocono Organics CBD 325 on Saturday and the Explore the Pocono Mountains 350 on Sunday. Now let's get you started with some track facts for the Tricky Triangle. Let's begin with race 1, the CBD 325. The track length is 2.5 miles. The race length is 130 laps, or 325 miles. Stage 1 is 25 laps, Stage 2 is 52 laps, and the final stage is 53 laps. Now for the Mountains 350, the race length is 140 laps, or 350 miles. Stage 1 is 30 laps, and the final two stages, stages 2 and the final, are 55 laps each. Now it is time to line up the field. On the screen for you is the lineup. On the pole for the Pocono Organics CBD 325, the first race of the weekend. No surprise, Kyle Larson, followed by William Byron, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kurt Busch, Christopher Bell, and Denny Hamlin for your top 10.
Another notable starting position I want to look back is the guy starting 29th. Remember, Chase Elliott was disqualified after the race, the Ally 400, due to 5 missing lug nuts. Well, his starting position was going to be affected. I did not expect it to be affected this much, though. So Chase Elliott will be starting this race back in the 29th position. Also, back in 27th is Ryan Blaney, a past Pocono winner where he got his first Cup Series win, taken out of the race due to brake issues. He will be starting back in 27th. Overall, these drivers are going to have to overcome challenges in this race, but that is your starting lineup for the Pocono Organics CBD 325. And now, it is time to line up the odds for this weekend at Pocono, looking at drivers that could have a fair shot this weekend at the track. The last drivers to win at this track were Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick in the doubleheader last season. The active driver with the most wins at the track is Denny Hamlin with 6 wins to his name. The active driver with the best average finish at the track with 6 starts is William Byron. He has the best average finish of 9.67. Then Keselowski, Hamlin, Eric Jones, and Kevin Harvick with the most Cup Series starts in the whole field, having 40, with an average finishing position of 12.03. He has the 5th best average finishing position in the field. The team with the most wins is, no surprise, Hendrick Motorsports with 17 to my count. And finally, the manufacturer with the most wins is Chevrolet, yet they have not won at this track since 2016 when Kurt Busch took the checkered flag.
Adam, I think it's insane. And I think this weekend we could see a Chevrolet win considering how well they are doing now. But until back then when Chevy won, this has been a really Toyota dominant race. I want to ask you, without giving away a race winning pick, do you think Toyota could bring it back this weekend, kind of continue their streak, or does it die?
I think Toyota is definitely wanting to get that win, and they're needing to get that win. I would be very shocked if they do not perform well at this track. If they do not perform well this weekend, especially with it being a doubleheader, it could be a rough summer. I mean, everyone knows Hendrick has the target on their back. They are the team to beat, specifically the 5 team. They're going to be at the front. It's just a matter of who can challenge. And I really, really think the 11 team, if they do not perform well this weekend or even get a win, they will have to hit that panic button for Road America the following week. It's almost down to the go or go home time. Y'all got to get something going. And this is a strong track for Denny. It's a super strong track. Most of his success was with the Chevys when Gibbs had Chevys back in the day. But now that they're Toyota, they've been Toyota for quite a while now. They're the flagship team. I think this weekend, if they nail the formula, they can definitely compete against the 5 team.
I would hope that Denny Hamlin can do well. I've talked about this before, whether it's on Twitter or whether it's on this platform here or another platform. This race is probably the best chance that Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin have to win, I would say, this season. And this is the earliest I think they have to do that. Otherwise, it's in the playoffs, when either it doesn't matter anymore or it matters, because right now they are both in the playoffs, even Kevin Harvick, who does not have a win yet. With that being said, it is time to pick our race-winning picks. And the challenge I'm giving to both of us this time is, there's an obvious pick. We all know Larson is the obvious pick, and he would very well win both races. The challenge is, Adam, I'm not allowing us to pick Kyle Larson. We're going to have a little bit of fun with this. The streaks die at some point, but odds are he's probably going to win. So, Adam, I'm going to ask you to give 2 race-winning picks and then 2 garage picks. Drivers either could be a dark horse, a driver you think could do well, or a driver you think could win it, but you're also not super confident on it. So without further ado, Adam, let me know who you think are going to win the doubleheader.
Obviously, just telling you all that stuff about Denny Hamlin, I got to put him either on a pick to win or in the garage. So I'm going to put him in my garage. I don't think he's going to get that win this weekend. I think it's going to stay in the Hendrick camp, but it's not going to be the 5 car. I think this weekend, this is hurting me to say this because his sponsor, big rival of my alma mater, Coastal Carolina, I think William Byron can sneak out a W.
Okay, I might mention him in a second here with my picks, but do you have a second pick for the next race?
He's got to get a win. They've been performing a lot. They've been performing. That's wonderful to see. They started off the season extremely slow, extremely off the pace. Believe you might be wearing his shirt. I want to put him back into the victory lane. I think Kevin Harvick can get a win this weekend. As for my garage pick, though, for that day, for Sunday, I still think you need to put a Hendrick bullet in the gun. So we're going to go with Alex Bowman just for the heck of it. I want to see Bowman get it. Yeah, just for the heck of it. If Hendrick's performing well across the board, let's go with Bowman. Bowman could get 3 wins. Who would have thought Bowman could have 3 wins by 4th of July? That would be phenomenal if that would happen. But I definitely think Kevin Harvick will be a threat on Sunday. If he's a threat Saturday, he can win it on Sunday. But if he's not a threat on Saturday, I think he'll be a threat on Sunday, if that makes sense.
It does. I followed your logic. And I actually surprisingly did not pick Kevin Harvick in any of my lineup this week. I feel like I should have, but I also am like, stats-wise this season, it doesn't line up. But yes, I am wearing my Harvick shirt to pay homage to last season. He did so well. He won one of the doubleheaders. The Ford hat is because the Fords are starting, they picked up the pace last race at Pocono, and I think they have potential to do well. Though all my picks pretty much, besides one, are Chevrolets. My race winning picks for this weekend are William Byron. I do think that he could eke out a win this weekend. And I got to explain this one a little bit. I think Ross Chastain could get a win this weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and it's a little, and here's why he's not a dark horse pick for me. Last weekend he was 2nd place. He is a super speedway driver, and because Pocono is a large track, it kind of, in my brain, leads a little bit towards a super speedway. There's a lot of straightaways, and in my brain, it makes sense a little bit. He's picking up the pace. He's increasing his stats. If he gets a win at some place that's not a road course or a super speedway, let's throw Ross Chastain in the mix. That's also because I can't choose Kyle Larson. So I'm picking someone else who contended with him a little bit at the end, though he couldn't catch him. Now, my garage picks, though, to close out this video, I have to go with Denny Hamlin, and he is not my front running pick because he faded off this season. He started off really strong and he started to fade, and Adam was like, when do you press the panic button? If he doesn't win this or maybe get a 2nd place finish, I'm pressing the panic button for them over at Joe Gibbs Racing for that 11 team, because they're not performing up to, I think, what we had expected them to. And I'm a little concerned, but he did well last season. The duo of Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin, one of them is bound to do well at this track. And I hope one of them is able to kind of put themselves back in contention a little bit. My last garage pick is going to be another guy that I did mention at last video, Daniel Suarez. I don't think he's going to get a win. I think if the cards are played right, maybe it's a rare chance. I don't want to discount it completely, but he's been running very well. And I think, kind of comparing this to a super speedway as well, it's kind of anyone's game. Ryan Blaney got his first win at this track, and I was like, I tried to think, well, Ryan Blaney has a garage pick. Somehow in my brain, I didn't think that was reasonable because the Chevys have just been so strong. So my garage picks are Denny Hamlin and Daniel Suarez. I think he could do pretty well. But with that said, those are our picks. You probably have some different ones of your own. Let us know in the comments below. What do you think of the updates mentioned? Let us know that as well. And with that, I want to thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Above the Yellow Line, the show where we talk all about the NASCAR Cup Series. Tune in to the Pocono Organics CBD 325 Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on NBCSN. And then come back on Sunday for the Pocono Mountains 350 at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Also on NBCSN this Sunday. Anna, before we go, I have to thank you so much for being such a trooper on these past 4 shows. We have had so much fun on camera, off camera, discussing NASCAR and life. To close out, do you have anything you want to plug, anywhere that the viewers can find you? And Adam will be back on the show. Don't you all worry. He's going to be back later, maybe in a month or 2, but he will be back on the show. But Adam, anywhere that they can find you in the meantime?
Absolutely. You guys can give me a follow on Twitter. Follow me at ALucas, at ALucas9166. Follow me for some cool racing mumbo jumbo some football here and there. My background's in football, so obviously it might be a little heavier with that towards the fall months, but the rest of the year it's pretty heavy with racing. And also wanted to say thank you for having me on the show for the fourth time. Hopefully I can get back after the Olympic break, maybe do a little road course coverage with you. That could be interesting. Yes. Yeah.
Let's put it on the schedule. Let's do it.
You heard it here first, everyone. Breaking news.
Adam is committed. Let's do it. He'll be back after the Olympic break. Hold me to that, you guys. So we know where to find Adam. Thank goodness, no breaks from Adam. But other places to find me are in the description below. My Twitter page, where I release weekly schedules of Above the Yellow Line, ask fan questions, post race day coverage, and hold Twitter spaces, which are gaining some popularity. I'm very excited to kind of host you guys in a space, gain the community there, and talk some racing and some stuff outside of racing too with you all. So I really appreciate that. Stay tuned for updates there and weekly schedule updates. Another place you can find me is the Podium Finish. Adam and I are part of that organization. It is a great team of wonderful people, very talented people. We do amazing driver interviews, and it's just awesome. Go check out the motorsports content over there. But before you check those out, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button of this video, tell your friends and your family about Above the Yellow Line. And with that, thank you all so much for supporting the channel. And until next time, we'll see ya.